Right, hello guys, you're watching Go Doctor Who, and today we're going to do Torchwood. We've done Torchwood Series 1, we've done Torchwood Series 2, now we're on to Torchwood Series 3, Children of Earth. So let's get into it. There's 5 episodes for us to review and rank out of 10 and give my opinions on. So yeah. Number 1, Episode 1. Of course, we get We Are Coming, and the children stopping and just stopping, everyone stopping around the world. I guess it's the aliens getting used to controlling the kids, and then to later on to get them to speak. And it was interesting to see that dynamic of kids stopping and playing around with people who tend to be innocent in a way, you could say. And yeah, and then we have the Torture team seeing how they're getting on, because we've sadly lost Tosh and Yonto. Owen. We lost Owen and Tosh the previous episodes, and it was quite sad. But we're seeing how Yonto, Gwen and Jack are getting along, and they're also maybe recruiting a doctor who seems to be following them quite a lot around places, but turns out to be completely the government trying to keep an eye on, well, what I think is the government, and trying to keep on Torchwood, keep an eye on Torchwood, so they're getting someone inside. But then things go to a different extreme, and they decide to kill that guy, the government do, and then kill Captain Jack, but then put a bomb in him. And that was interesting to see. That's tactics, that's how mischievous the government can be at this certain time, and that's intriguing to see. And then we see the bomb later on, and Captain Jack never knows that that other guy betrayed him, and blows up the Torchwood hub. It'll find only if Gwen didn't find out she was pregnant, they would have all been blown up, and that would be the end to Torchwood. But she found out she was pregnant. Captain Jack warned them off, put his hand on the machine, and legged them out of it. Yonto's running around trying to escape, trying to see his family secretively as well. That's a beautiful thing in these 5 episodes. We get to see Yonto's story properly develop in Series 3. We get to see his family, we get to see his development, and it's lovely. And him coming out as gay as well. Then we also have Gwen, who is feisty and badass. She's taking out all these people. These people are going to try and kill her, and she's whooping their ass. And then we have Andy, the policeman, and she's not a terrorist. What kind of terrorist shoot tires? A clever one. And you're like, oof. It's so good, I love it. And Reese is completely naked, and he's like, oh here man, what are you doing? And then also I noticed a little Gavin and Stacey reference. Hey, what's occurring? Gwen says to someone. That was a quick, easy, lovely nod. Yeah, we have, just checking my notes, Jack and grandson. Yes, Jack and his grandson. We find out that Jack's daughter again, and we find out how she's not happy that he's so young and she doesn't, and that it would confuse the grandson later on in life, and Jack's just using his grandson to find out what technically is happening next, I guess you could say. So yeah, a 9 out of 10 for this story. Really is developed quite well and beautifully well done. Next up we have episode 2, Blown Up Base, of course, the base. And where's the pterodactyl? I bet that got destroyed as well, bless. And all of the people frozen in the vaults, lovely. Yeah, I really enjoyed it, and it was fun. Next up we have On the Run. Yes, Yonto and Gwen on the run, trying to eventually meet up with each other. They all split up, and Jack... Oh yes, Jack's on mortality. We get to see that play out, and how extensive can his... If you blow up every last bit of Jack, can he still grow back? And the answer is yes. He's like Deadpool. And yeah, it just shows how powerful his immortality is, and it's brilliantly darkly shown. You pack of bones and then the skin going, ah, and you're just like, whoa, this is extreme. They realise they can't kill a dead man like this, so they're going to contain him. Put him in concrete. Yanto and Gwen save the day and get him out, of course. And I love how they do that. And we also learn Reese is a dad, and Reese has to accept that, and he's like, oh my god, that's amazing. And they talk about names and hiding in a sack of potatoes. And then we get later on Gwen deciding, actually, I don't think we should keep this baby the way that the government are treating things and the world and everything. And Reese like, you're not getting rid of it, aren't I, Reese? And then that scare for him, and then later on realising she would never do that to him. Yeah, I really enjoyed that. Jack's back, of course. Jack's back, and then he gets his outfit, and it's lovely. And then we also have this old man as well, who is one of the 12 people that got stolen by the, let me just check, the 1, 4, 5, is it? No, it's 4, 5, 6. The 4, 5, 6, the aliens. Yes, the 4, 5, 6 have been here before, and they have basically stole 12 kids, and they are still alive today, but they use the kids as drugs. And it's like so dark, and you're like, whoa, that is crazy. And yeah, it's intriguing and so dark to see the side of Torchwood and how it's so connected to Doctor Who, but it's completely darker. We have to see that progress, and then we have to see later on that Jack was one of the people that helped the 4, 5, 6 give the kids to them as a gift. They were talking about viruses and stuff, and later on that does play into play. Episode 2 gets a 9 out of 10. Episode 3 gets an 8 out of 10 just because it's just felt a bit more lackluster, I guess you could say. Jack's past, we learn about that, 1965 when he gave the kids. Just check my notes. Yes, they get their friend from the government to help in, and she was only helping them because she's quite nosy, and she looked into paperwork and found out that they were going to die of Torchwood. And then Gwen and her meet up quite a few times to help, and then finally she decides, I will help you guys and put these I can't say it, contact lenses, is it? Yes, contact lenses in their eye to record everything that's seen, and then she gets arrested for it. However, she does right and justice, and then eventually Torchwood, the government let her out because the Prime Minister's an absolute dick, you know, literally is an absolute cock, because he's so evil. He's putting all this pressure on Furbisher, who is played by Pete Capaldi and done so well, and he's pushed to the limit and getting Pete Capaldi, a good man, to do all his dirty work so he has someone to blame it on. And eventually then when they are deciding, oh, this would benefit the country because actually we'd get rid of all the lowlifes, we should pick which ones we want to get rid of, which children, but it must be seen to the public as random and sort of thing. So some of them had to lose, who were in government, their children as well, and Peter Capaldi, Furbisher, loses both of his kids, and he weren't going to accept that. So later on in the episodes, he shoots himself, he shoots his girlfriend, he shoots his 2 kids, and it's just, you hear the bang, 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 and then he waits, looking at what he's done, and bang, and it's so dark. 8 out of 10. Really enjoyed episode 3, and I think that shooting was in episode 4, but there's not much to talk about in episode 3 other than they were getting ready for it, and you know, like that. 9 out of 10 for episode 4. The gas, of course, so this is where Yonto and Jack go off to their doom, I guess you could say. The government are fighting back, and we are seeing Yonto and Jack go off, and basically they're also talking about each other and how much you're going to forget me one day, Jack, and he said he never would and stuff like that. And then they go after the government and we have to see Yonto's death. We get to see that, and it's so bad and so upsetting, and these people choking from the gas because Jack's trying to stop them from taking all the kids, but then end up starting a war, and the war's already been set with the gas and the killing everyone off. It's quite dark and interesting. And then we have to see Jack get brought back to life, but then see Yonto's dead, with Gwen crying by Yonto's bedside, you could say, and they were like that, and it's just so touching, heart-rounding. Yeah, 9 out of 10. Just really good episode, and it shows up to what's going to come for the finale. Now the finale, you get to see Gwen taking Yonto's family's kids, so the government taking kids, and mums and dads fighting back. Streets fighting, and the stupidest scene, I'm going to try and put it on the screen, but it's the stupidest scene I've ever seen. Yeah, it was so stupid, wasn't it? Ugh. I don't like the way he took off his stuff. Like, what was the point of that? Anyway, Jack has a grandson. They're playing football, the soldiers with his grandson, and then they have to take the grandson off the mom and put him to his doom. How upsetting must them soldiers have been? Jack killing off his grandson to save the rest of the world, because use their weapons against them. They're using the kids, so we'll use the kids to defeat them. And it does, and they get destroyed and they go off, and that was the end of them. But also Jack can never see his daughter again because she hates his guts. We lose Yonto. The government are down in shame and horrendous, and we get a new Prime Minister, and the Prime Minister we also got was in prison. The girl that helped the Torchwood team, she gets out scot-free, thank God. She was a lovely character. And yeah, the 456 were pretty good villain, to be fair. I really found them quite creepy and interesting that we never got to see their actual form. And yeah, I'm going to give this episode out of 10, 10 out of 10. Pretty good. This is how Torchwood should have ended. They shouldn't have done Series 4. And Series 4, not the best, and I can't wait to not review that, but I have to review it because I've reviewed every other series, so stick around next week for that. But before I go, I just want to say I loved that Gwen had a baby with Reese, and they go off to their flats and their day-to-day lives until we find out in Series 4 that they went on hiding from the government. And then we also have Captain Jack going off to the stars. Lovely. And yeah, that's it, guys. That's my review, and I hope you enjoy. Thank you guys for watching. I'll see you guys very soon for another one. Have a nice day.